Hey, welcome to From Scratch Ranch. In this video, I'm going to take you through how I installed this Ring Floodlight security camera. Yeah, it's a great little product here. Link below for Amazon if you're interested. But I'm also going to take you through why I took it down. Yep, it's in my hand right here. A lot of extra wires that I had to figure out how to wire it because the manual doesn't have this many wires. And also, I couldn't turn the light off. That's related to all these extra wires. So if you have the same problem, make sure you stay tuned to the end to find out how I figured out and how to fix all of this wiring mess and get this thing to work. Because once it works, it's a great product. Now that we have power, now that we have high-speed internet through Ozarks Go fiber right to our barn, I can finally install security cameras. Yep, now that I'm on the internet, we are going to install the Ring Floodlight security camera right up there. It's going to be a motion detected security camera. Lights come on, capture anything that might be going on out here in front of the Barndominium. Lately, there's been some shenanigans going on around here at night, early morning. I think it's the neighbor's dogs coming over, pooping on my driveway. I'm gonna catch them. I don't know. This could be a coyote, could be a bear, who knows? But most likely one of the neighbor's dogs. These dogs kind of roam this mountain, so I think they come up here early in the morning and do their business right here. We also wanted the camera up here because this is our back door, and if people come up, drive up on here to deliver something to us or just come by and say hi, we would never see them coming. We wouldn't hear them coming unless we happen to see them out the window. So this will at least give us a camera to see them pull up on the driveway and know they're here. So with that, let's get started. Okay, let's take a look at what's inside the box. We have the actual camera floodlight right there, and then we also have the mounting plate and some tools and some of the hardware, instructions, stickers, and that's about it. Okay, so I'm going to install this light right up there by the ladder. So it's going to be right up on top of that row of screws, which is the girt that goes across there. Behind it, the 2x4 girt. I'm going to put the box on the inside right on top of that girt, mount it to that, cut my hole right above there. So I don't want my light and camera too high. So that's about, I would say, 10 to 12 feet high there. That's probably 12 feet high because it's a 14-foot door. So it's 12 feet up. That's about as high as I think I want to go. And that'll be enough to capture anything that's going on back over here and over here with the camper and light it all up. Now, I'm not doing this because I have security concerns like immediately here. All my neighbors are great, and we're kind of deep back in the woods here. I'm not really that concerned. This is just a just in case. Just want to make sure I'm prepared. So I want to install it right on top of this girt right here. So it's right below the top of that door. And I'm going to use this box here. I mean, to make sure it's in between the ribs. So there's a rib there. I can feel it through the insulation here. There's a rib there. So I want it kind of right in between the two ribs. Yep, right there. And I need to cut my hole. And then this box will go through that hole, and then I'll nail this into this girt, and that'll support the light. Okay, this is a 3 1/4 inch hole saw, and I'm going to use to cut this hole. And it always feels very unnerving cutting a hole in the side of the building. Alright, well, this hole saw wasn't cutting it through the metal. I don't know if I doled it down too much or it's just not right for the metal. So I'm gonna try this other gadget that I bought off Facebook. I used it once before when working on cutting the metal ceiling. If you haven't seen that video, there's a link above, check that out. It's probably not the best tool, but for here, it might do the job. All right, now I'm resorting to some tin snips because this is a little bit more difficult than I thought it was going to be, especially in this kind of corner here with this wood in the way. All right, let's see if that fits. Okay, now that I got my box installed, that's for the light fixture on the outside. So I'm gonna run my wires into that box there. So I need power. So the closest power I have to that box is up here in this storage space above the workshop, where I've got a switch that controls these lights up here. And I'm gonna use this because it's close and it's also open on the back side here, so I can get into this box and run my cable up through and over. Now I'm going to run the cable on the hot side. I'm going to connect to the hot side of this switch, not the switch side, because I don't want this switch to control that light or that camera. I just want to tap into the hot power. So I bought a 15-foot piece of Romex here. This is 12 gauge because this is on a 20 amp circuit, so I need 12 gauge wire for that. And this is a 2 wire with the ground. So I'm going to string this wire from here up and over to there. So I've already got the hole here. I'm gonna put this in through. Okay, so I pulled this through. That looks like that's gonna be enough. Now I need to take this end. So before I feed this through on that box, I'm just gonna cut off just a little bit. Then I'm gonna use part of that wire as a pigtail to attach to the switch here. So I'm going to use that later. So now I just need to connect or push this end through the pinch clamp behind this box and out. So now that I got the wire in, I need to tack it up nice and tight. Okay, so before I punch this through the back side here, I just need to remove the switch plate and pull the switch out so I don't jab that wire through the back of the box and hit the switch or hit the wires in the back. And before I actually do any of this, I need to turn the power off. Power is off from the breaker. Turn the breaker off. And now remove the switch. Okay. Now before I touch anything, I'm just going to double check with this non-contact AC voltage detector. So this is going to detect if there's actually power. So nope, it would flash red and beep if there was actually power coming. I can even touch it and nothing. Now, what I need to find out though is which one of these lines is the hot wire, because we have the power coming from the panel into the switch and then the other wire going from the switch to the light fixture. And that's how this works. It just breaks that connection. So I need to find out which one's the hot, because I want to connect my pigtail to go to the camera and light fixture to the hot, because I just want the hot. If I attached it to the one that's not hot and it goes to the other fixture here on the part of the switch, then it will control, the switch will control my camera and my light, and I don't want that. So I need to turn the power back on. I've got this out. It's okay. I'm going to turn the power back on and retest this to find out which one of these wires is my hot wire. I could trace it all the way back, but it's just easier to go turn the power on and use this to test. Okay, so now my power is back on, and you can see that I'm registering that there is current there, and same there on both of them. And that's because the switch is actually turned on. So I'll turn that off. Okay, there's my hot. And then this is the lead that goes to the actual light fixture up here in the storage space. So when this switch is off, this is not the wire I want to connect to. I want to connect it to that one with my pigtail out to my security light and camera. So now I'll go turn the power back off, knowing it's that one there I need to disconnect and tie my pigtail to. The breaker happens to be in the workshop, which is right below the attic space above where I'm working. So it's on the same circuit that controls the lights in this room. That's why it just went dark. Okay, so to retest, power is off and it looks good. There is no current flowing through here. So I'm safe now to undo that screw and remove that wire. Okay. So that is where I want to source my power from. Connect here. So now I'm going to push this wire through the back side of this box so I can have it available to me. So through this pinch clamp on the top here, I'm going to push that through and get just enough where I can make those connections. So that should be good. I also have my common that I need to pull out, my white wire here. And I can undo that one also because I need to attach my white common to that. All right, so now I need to remove the sheathing off this wire. Just pull that off. Expose the black and the white and the ground. This is the bare copper ground. Just strip the ends. Okay. And now I just need to wire nut the white to the white. So this is my neutral or my common. This completes the circuit back to the panel. Get that on there good and tight and let that twist around on the inside there. Give it a little tug test, make sure nothing comes out. Okay. And then now what I need to do here is I can't just connect these two because then I'll have no power to my switch. So this coming from the panel, this going to my new Ring security light and camera. What I need to do is tie a pigtail to this. So that's that scrap that I just cut. Okay, here's that end of the wire I cut off as a scrap. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna pull these wires out of the sheathing here. And I just need the one, the black. You can see there's also the white and the common. So I've got this black wire. Just strip the end, each end, to expose the copper. Okay. Actually, one of the ends I'm going to strip a little bit more because I'm going to twist this around the screw here. I'm going to take the end of it and just kind of curl it around to make a U shape. Okay. And that way I can wrap this around that screw like so. Tighten that up. Okay. And then tighten this screw down. Nice and tight. All right. Now that's my pigtail. So now I can connect these three wires together like so. Okay, and I'm using the red wire nuts because these are the larger wire nuts to accommodate 3 wires and also 3 12-gauge wires, which are a little bit thicker. You're in my video. Okay, tug test. Good. Okay, now I've got my ground that I'll connect to the ground wire. Okay, now I'm just gonna clean all this up, make sure everything's separated. And I'm gonna leave this out until I do the light fixture and turn the power on, make sure everything's working, and then I'll push it all back in and get the cover on. Next, we'll install the Ring security camera floodlight right over there. I just placed the ladder up here, and I strategically placed the end of the ladder right on that girt right there, so you can see where the screws are at, so it's not just on the metal with nothing supported behind it. And so here we have our fixture box and our wire. We're just gonna get that stripped and ready to accept the light fixture. Okay. So I have no idea why they give you so many screws, and they're even labeled A, B, C, D, E, F. They look like they're different lengths and widths, but there's really only 2 screws I need, and that's to mount the mounting plate. Everything else is on the mounting posts. No idea. Whatever. Got extra screws now. So that mounting plate's gonna go on just like that. But before I put that on, I'm gonna get some silicone and just silicone the back side of this. I know it's got this foam waterproof kind of barrier there, but because this is kind of ribbed here, there's gonna be a gap. So I just wanna make sure that I can fill this in with that silicone. I'm more concerned about the top up here, because as the water gets up behind there and drains down, I want to make sure I'm fully protected there. I'm going to go ahead and put a bead all the way around. Okay, and you can see there's a little gap here in case water does get in there, and it can drain in between there. Now my 2 holes in the box behind are here and here. Okay, good, that was it. Okay, next one. Okay, and get this nice and tight. And I really want this tight because I want that foam to compress as much as possible and seal that off as much as possible, even though I do have the silicone behind it. Okay. Now let's mount the light. Okay, so it comes with this nice little hook here. You're supposed to hook it into one of the mounting holes, mounting bracket holes, and then hang it like so. That way you can do all your wiring. So I'll start with the white. It came with the yellow wire nuts, which I think are for 2 wires. Okay. And then this also has a similar pigtail as like we did on the switch side, because it has both the light and the camera. So both the light and the camera need power. So there's 2 separate wires for that. So we'll bring all that together. Okay, and then lastly, we have our ground. Just wrap that around. And I'll put a wire nut on it just for a good measure. Okay. Now let's test it. True test. Turn the power back on. Okay, lights back on in here. And look at that, the floodlights are on. Okay, we're good. Let's check upstairs. I need to check that switch up there and see if that's working. Okay, so I've turned the power back off. I'm safe to work with these wires again. I'm gonna push them all back into the box behind the mounting plate. Not just because there won't be enough room behind here, but that actually provides that extra protection from fire, overheating, anything that might happen, it's going to happen within that box. Okay, now remove the hook. And I want to take these two posts, mounting posts, and put them through the two mounting holes on the sides. And then I have these little mounting nuts to put on top and secure that. Now I can move these lights out of the way. And it came with a special tool to just pop the bit out, and you've got the hex tool to then tighten these nuts. Kind of working back and forth just to make sure I get it all the way tight. Okay, we're good. Now we can adjust the camera. And the bottom here needs to be level with the ground or so. So I want to make sure it's angling down the right angle. And we'll fix our lights back. Let's go turn the power back on and see what we got. Boom. And we have light. Very bright light. Not as bright as that big LED up there, but this one's on a motion detector. So that's the difference between that light and that light. These are on switches. The big floodlight that lights up this entire driveway, that lights up everything. And that there just over the door, but those are controlled by switches. This light is a floodlight that is based on a motion detector. Now I can turn it on and off with the app, but primarily that's going to be set off by the motion detector when filming any movement that's out here. Okay, well, it's blinking blue, and when I had the camera off, I was just moving the ladder and it was talking to me to say follow the instructions in the app. So I need to do that, I guess, right now while it's blinking. Okay, Ring app. Okay, so welcome to Ring. I already put in all my account information. So set up a Ring device, security cameras, scan the QR. Oh. Okay, so it's on a little piece of paper in with the instructions. Got it. It's been installed. It's in setup mode. When the light at the bottom begins flashing, continue to the next step. It's flashing. Continue. Ring wants to join the Wi-Fi. Join. Okay, so here we got the app going. I'm going to live view, activating the device, and there we go. There's video, and there I am. Very cool. Alrighty. Well, now I'll see if I can control the lights. And I'm supposed to be able to just use the app here to shut the light off. And it is not turning off. Why is this not turning off? Come on now. What am I doing wrong here? I don't get it. The lights won't turn off. Ah, frustrating. What did I do wrong? Alright, well I guess I'm gonna have to get the ladder out and pull that light off and see if I wired something wrong. Doesn't make sense. Okay, here's the back side of the light fixture. And as you can see, there's just lots of wires there. According to the instructions, there should only be 3 wires. A copper wire, a black wire, and a white wire. Well, I got my copper. We're good to go. I got my white wire over here. A little confusing because there is the main pigtail off here that I can connect to, and that's connected to these other ones. Okay, that's fine. Where it's really confusing though is the black wire. I've got 2 main black leads here. 2 of them, 2 of the thicker. And then I've also got this red wire right here that's just kind of hanging out. What does that go to? So I traced back. This black wire here goes to the main unit in the center here that goes out to the 2 lights. And then this black wire here, if I trace that back, it goes to this other small little skinny black wire, and in here, which is combined with this white and this red, and I follow that back all the way up to the main unit up here, which is the camera, the main control unit, the sensors, the motion detector, the Wi-Fi reception in there. So that's kind of the main brain of this whole thing. So I figure that this one has got to be the main power source, and that needs to come through here and go all the way up to there where the switch might occur, and then that wire then comes back down here to this red. That would be the switch circuit for the lights, so that red one would need to connect to this black one. And I think that's the problem. This should have been connected. And it's probably a manufacturing defect where this should be connected and have a crimped connector like that and be tucked back inside here. Because what's also missing is the cardboard backing to this whole thing, which I've seen in other pictures and videos on the internet. And that's all missing. So I think this is just a manufacturer defect. They just didn't finish putting this thing together before it was packaged. And I don't think it's a return or anything, because this was sealed up pretty good when I bought it, like it was brand new and never been touched before. So I really do think this is just a manufacturing defect. It's a pretty bad one, because if I didn't know what I was doing, I can easily see how this was not going to work, and I just return it. I also did a lot of research on the internet trying to figure this all out and what the problem might be if anybody else has encountered this. And a lot of people have encountered this problem, but not necessarily found a solution. So hopefully this video will help you. Just connect the black wire to the red wire and you'll be good to go. So to fix the problem, just take the red wire and then the black wire that goes to the light fixture. Bring those together. Make the connection. And small wire nut. Make sure that's connected well. Now, if this was all tucked back in like it should be, I really would only have 1 black, 1 white, 1 copper. It was just that one simple connection right there that caused all the confusion. Easy fix. I have a security threat. I was just alerted on my phone. Go to my live view here. See what is happening. Oh no, it's just the chickens. I can hear them. Hey chickens, can you hear me? Skedaddle. Let's try scaring them away with the alarm. They didn't budge. They're still there. Let's go see what's going on. Hey, chickens. What are you doing? Look, you can hear me? Nice. Turn it off. All right. Well, it's working. The alarm works, the siren works, the lights work, cameras work, microphones work, speaker works. It all works. And I got a good view of what's going on out here. So hopefully you learned something from this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you hit that subscribe button and click that alert bell. So until next time, keep living the dream.